Hello everybody, my name is Solo and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about Destiny 2 updates. Now Destiny 2 updates of course have been few and far between. That being said, we did get two developer insights and also this week at Destiny, or this week in Destiny, and we're going to be covering both of those. Before we get started, in the background you are going to see some stuff about X Defiant. So I am still playing X Defiant. I'm trying to get up to a point where I'm using the season 2 stuff before I give it an actual, hey, is this good, is this bad review. So give me like a day or so and I should be at a point where I can give you guys my thoughts about it. That being said, let's get into the video today. We're going to be actually starting with the developer insight for combat modifiers and more. So yeah, let's get started with that. All right. So yeah, let's talk about it. So basically with the new developer insight, they talk to us about combat modifiers and more. Basically the gist of it is that they're making new combat modifiers for specific things, which is basically individual combatants. Usually they're probably going to be more prevalent on like the multitude of like trash mobs, so they're going to be adding on what are known as banes, which are known as combat affix modifiers. An enemy unit can be present during a challenge, but it will not be guaranteed on the same unit every time you go into a challenge, so it's going to be different no matter what when you go through everything. That being said, they did reveal, I believe, a total of 5 Banes. They revealed Meteors, which is kind of like giant solar axiom darts, if you've ever seen axiom darts. Shock, which is over time, the combatant will generate shock. Once they get you in front of them, they will shock you and do a bunch of damage. This can actually spread to other combatants. Then there's Berserk. Berserk like works basically the way you would think it would work. You kill combatants and then other combatants get mad because you killed them. Punchable. Titan's favorite thing, you're going to be able to just only punch a character and then you can do damage normally. Nuclear, when a character gets low, it'll basically self destruct or blow itself up as soon as it gets low enough, unless you kill it fast enough. Enemy modifiers, they just go into a little bit of detail with those, which is enemy modifiers are a blanket modifier for all enemies in things such as like strikes and dungeons, things like that. And then combat modifiers are going to change how you have to play the game rather than really the enemies. So they're going to be changing how like things do certain damage, things do certain other things, and it's just going to be based on how much you specifically want to challenge yourself. They do go into detail and ask, what about champions? Champions will exist. They will not be using any Banes. Banes cannot stack currently in the episode coming up, which is Revenant, and they are not replacing the old modifiers. They are brand new ones, and we will still have some of the old modifiers laying around. So, yeah, that's pretty sick. Honestly, in my opinion, I'm glad they're adding more and more extra things to maybe try to boost the fun of playing the game. Like, I could imagine if they add in like some stupid Banes where it's like, oh yeah, oversized head or something like that. That would be pretty cool for something in the future. But yeah, let's continue on into the controversial one, which is raids and dungeons. All right, raids and dungeons. So the gist of this one is, hey, we're going down from 2 raids and 2 dungeons a year to 1 raid, 1 dungeon a year. They are getting rid of the dungeon keys, so no longer are you gonna have to sit there and buy a dungeon key for each one of the different raids slash dungeons that come out. They are making it so new raids will be more difficult slash different challenges, so they're not gonna stick to the same like layout. So I wouldn't be surprised if they like don't have exactly like 5 encounters. Maybe they'll have a bunch of like puzzles, things like that, or different mechanics that we haven't seen before. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Raid feats, which are basically going to be your modifiers for raids, which they go into detail saying that it could be time trials, contest combatants, and other modifiers unique to the raid. The more feats active, the better chance of getting higher tiered rewards. We already talked about tiered rewards in a different video. Raid challenge update. This is the one that kind of makes me scratch my head a little bit, mostly because of people's reaction to it. So it says at the first major update following Codename Apollo, the raid will receive a challenge update, adding new rewards, mechanics, new feats, and potentially new encounters. This update will kick off with a raid race event, which will be a venue for experienced raiders to further challenge their skills. So people are upset by this because they're like, so what you're saying is we're gonna have another raid race on top of the one we already have, and I kind of laugh at this because people complain that there like originally that there wasn't enough of an opportunity to do like a day one, and now that they're given it, they're upset because they like the raid races being given to them again. And I don't think they're gonna go for like belts or anything. I think this is literally just a way for them to like challenge the actual new stuff, and maybe you'll get something special for it, who knows. But I don't think this is also going to take over the like base raid. This will be probably something you select specifically. So I'm not really sure about the outrage on this. Like I get it, but also like I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird on how people are reacting to this. If you guys have any more insight, let me know in the comments. I'm just very confused on how this challenge update raid race is going to be such a issue with people, I suppose. I don't know. It's weird. But they did say that the highest tiers will give like new rewards, new weapons, and a catalyst. I'd really love for them to make this kind of like the hard mode, kind of like how the Destiny 1 hard modes were, where the armor like changed because you were doing the harder one. Big thing that I remember is like Wrath of the Machine. I know, sore subject, but they had the base Nanomania, and then they had the like Age of Triumph Nanomania. I think that's a really good thing, and I really wish they would go back to that system. I think that system was great, and I love that time in just Destiny in general. So they talked about the dungeon a little bit. It's going to get its reward pool basically pulled up to where a raid is going to be, since they're no longer going to be doing a second raid per year. And then we have a new rad event, which is going to be somewhere centered around how Pantheon was, but with more updates and challenges and different offerings for that event. And it will be an event. So more along the lines, of course, to Into the Light, but I think it's going to be more centered around raids. Like Into the Light had its own thing, so we'll see how that goes and how that shapes up to what they've been talking about. That being said, that moves us to This Week in Destiny for the 26th of September. And this is interesting because they tell us about a few things. So, yeah, let's get into it. All right, so let's talk about it. So, This Week in Destiny 9/26/2024. So, This Week in Destiny, the topic is the Vespers Host Dungeon. Now, this screenshot right here that you guys are seeing on my screen shows kind of like the promotional art for it. And honestly, it definitely, from what people are saying, it definitely looks like it's on the reef more than likely, and it looks like it's partially floating out into space. They did talk about different things, so it will be released on October the 11th. Not only will the dungeon have the first contest mode, but we are also excited to announce the Vespers Host Dungeon Race. Again, having a dungeon race, I think, should be a fun thing, and I know people are like upset about it, but it's kind of like, again, if you don't want to do it, you can wait for contests to turn off and then you can play it normally. I think limiting other people's ability to have like the first dungeon or whatever have you is, I don't know, it becomes selfish at a point, and very much like drags down the fun of the game to sit there and tell people that they can't play a game because or they can't do a race because it's not a quote unquote raid, you know. And even then, we're starting to nitpick what a raid race should be. So, but they talk about different details. Normal mode will be will be available as soon as 3 teams clear the dungeon. You will need at least 1985 power to be at the cap for all encounters. Assemble a team assemble a team. Start the Vesper host dungeon in contest mode from the planet maps system map. All fire team members must own the final shape dungeon key and acquire the quest Rogue Network from Spider in the Last City seasonal. Oh, so Spider is going to be a part of the next episode. Well, we didn't technically know that, but I figured it was a thing just because of how we were going back to the reef. But completion criteria once the final encounter is complete. My bad. They must loot the final chest and finish, or their finish may not be recorded. A team's official finish will be recorded when they loot the final chest. At least one member of the fire team must have completed and received loot for each and every encounter. It must be the first time completing the activity for all members of the fire team. Um, then they go into contest mode details about different things. And then they have like dungeon race stuff, which shows like different emblems you can get. And then Revenant live stream looks sick. Um, we're excited to give you a closer look at everything we've been working on. Tune in on October 1st. So we do have a live stream on October 1st, which I believe if I check my calendar here is going to be a Tuesday, which well makes sense. I do need to look. I believe episode 2, and you probably are hearing me type on my keyboard. I believe it comes out on the 10th. If I am not mistaken. I believe, yeah, let's see. Episode 2. Okay, they don't have it set up, but basically the whole point of it is it'll be released October 8th. So it'll be released a week after that live stream. Um let's see, preview of what's coming in Revenant. So they talk about different PvP strike team stuff. They're adding, let's see, a reprised map, Solitude. UI features are getting changed. Mercy rules are getting changed. Lobby balance improvements. Point reward simplification. Placement match improvements. Weapons meta overview. PvP micro tuning. Upcoming map schedule. New weapons. Class based trials. Labs. And then preview what's coming in Beyond Revenant, Heresy. Next episode, Trials of Osiris rework. That's going to be interesting because they've been reworking that for the past like a year or so. Then Crucible specific uptime tuning, playlist reorganization, Iron Banner improvements, skill and rank changes. What to expect in Revenant, they already showed us like different stuff. They're updating UI stuff for PvP. They're bringing back Solitude. I actually like Solitude. Solitude was pretty cool. They're updating the UI. They also have new assisted by stuff that's going on. They have updating Mercy rules. They go into a lot more details. I'm not really a PvP guy, so I'm not fully going to go into PvP details. They have a bunch of graphs and everything about how they're changing different parts of PvP, and then skill and rank changes that are coming. So honestly, not too bad. I hope we get more. I'm hoping next week we're gonna get more of the PVE stuff, like the changes they're doing to PVE. So that's gonna be cool. as far as everything goes right now, that's gonna do it for Destiny. So let's move into the final part of the video so I can give you guys my thoughts on everything. Alright, so final thoughts about all of it. I think they're doing good with the new modifiers they're adding. I still think that there's a lot to add to PvE before it starts becoming more than just a blatant chore for a lot of people. As far as Revenant's going, I'm probably going to hop in and play Revenant just for the simple fact of I think the basis for it is cool, and I think the premise of the vampire hunter fantasy is gonna be cool. And also I bought the thing, so of course I'm gonna play it, kind of like the other seasons. And yes, I did say, oh, I'm done with the game, but also it's like to not play it is also a waste of money, so might as well play it while I still have it bought, and then Bungie can figure out like different things, and maybe they can earn my money back. I don't know. I really don't actually know at this point. From what we know, a lot of things are up in the air. But as far as it looks so far, Vesper's host looks sick. Just the preview image looks sick. I think that's going to be a cool dungeon. Uh, the second thing I want to address is I think the Destiny community, especially when it comes to like raid races slash dungeon races, I think are very wishy washy when it comes to it because they want to have more opportunities to get these like wins on races, but then when they introduce more races, they get upset by it. So I'm not sure. As far as PvP, it looked like with This Week in Destiny, there's going to be a lot of stuff. So if you want like in-depth specifics about PvP stuff, go look at This Week in Destiny. There's quite a bit of it. And of course, I'm going to be making a video after October 1st on the different stuff that's coming out for Destiny. With that being said, I'm also still working on, of course, the X Defiant stuff, and then we will be talking about other stuff as time goes on. But with that, I think I'm going to end the video. If you guys did like the video, hit the like button, comment down below. Like I said, more specifics about why people are upset about the whole contest dungeon and also the challenge contest or challenge raid race. That's still confusing me. Yeah, let me know also your guys' thoughts down in the comments. And guys, don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.